All right, so I'm on my way to Price, Utah, for a rally on coal and fossil fuels, supporting coal and fossil fuel industries, which I'm very happy to do. And we're passing by what I like to call a windmill graveyard, which is usually the state in which you find windmills. Now, these are turning slightly. You can't see them right now, but just imagine 3 spokes and very little movement, and you'll get the idea. We should get to them soon. So let's see. I mean, you can see in the background there's this very scenic mountain. Okay, so here we go. So, some of them seem motionless, some of them are moving very, very slowly. This is the typical state in which you'll find windmills because they don't work most of the time. Like, if windmills were an employee, you would, if you're any kind of decent employer, you'd fire them, the third day once you realize they're not there 70 or 80% of the time. Person who's driving, I'm not filming while driving, incidentally, asked, why do environmentalists consider this pretty? I mean, just on an aesthetic level, it's a bit jarring to have just these massive white things with this mountain. This is not like, a Frank Lloyd Wright integration of architecture and nature, at least certainly not in my aesthetic. It's just a little bit bizarre. And really, I don't think anyone thinks that these things are beautiful or anything like that. I think, I'm certain what it is, at least in terms of the environmentalist leaders, is that really they're more than willing to trade, a beautiful mountain for, they're starting to pick up, for the destruction of a major part of civilization, and that would be fossil fuels. So what you'll see is that there is actually a ton of opposition to wind and solar projects around the country. But some places it's politically correct. I mean, you have the example of, I think, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who opposes windmills in his backyard, but supposedly supports some other places. But the point they always make is, well, by the way, notice all the equipment here is powered by oil because you can't make a windmill out of a windmill, or using a windmill even. Yeah, the sort of core idea is they're trying to minimize our impact on nature, and they kind of figure, well, if we put up these symbolic windmills, then we can justify attacking fossil fuels, which are the real source of our industrial civilization, which they consider an intrusion on nature. So really, if you get that the core idea of environmentalism is non-impact, that it's wrong for human beings to impact the rest of nature, it's pretty clear that, yeah, it's really about human beings not doing something versus loving nature. Because if you love nature, then we got a cell phone interruption there. Maybe it's an environmentalist trying to interrupt my speech. If you really love nature, I talk about, chapter 6 of my book on the relationship between energy and enjoying nature. We're only enjoying nature right now because we're in a car and we can move around. If it wasn't for this kind of technology, we would be confined to a very small space, have a very small life radius, as I like to call it. So yeah, this is a really nice place. My aesthetic's certainly a lot nicer without windmills. Nothing against windmills per se, except they're not very good at generating energy. But really, they're used as a pretext for destroying the industries that truly do sustain life by transforming nature to meet human needs. And today we're going to be talking to a group of people where many of those people are afflicted by this kind of philosophy, in a very personal way. They're losing their jobs, their electricity prices go up, a town that might be in good shape becomes in much worse shape. People need to move out, their lives are upended. Now, I have no problem with that if they're being replaced by a superior industry. So if you're outcompeted by a better thing, that's good. But here, modern wind technology is is not a superior technology. So radically inferior technology is only superior in that it has gotten, the political standing to and cultural standing to be used as a pretext for opposing fossil fuels and to get enough subsidies for these sort of symbolic, sometimes live, mostly graveyard type installations. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to talking to the people today, and who are still, a lot of those are people who are actually making civilization happen, and explain to them why what they're doing is good. Because most people think, oh, those people who put up the wind turbines or who pay the electric company extra money to claim credit for whatever scraps of energy the wind turbines generate when they generate it, those are the good people. No, my view is no. The people who are good are the people who are actually sustaining life. The people who are embracing their humanity by being a good human being and transforming the world around you to make life better. It's really what human life is about, and that's really what environmentalism is against. It's really about prioritizing the non-human environment above human beings and rebelling against human nature, which is to improve nature for our purposes. So once we do, though, improve nature and enjoy it, once we improve nature and master it, only then can we truly enjoy it. So here's to enjoying nature and mastering it, and we'll be back later.